It's Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow, where daily we discuss the National Football League and the push for the postseason. In the AFC, plenty of teams trying to jockey for positioning. In the NFC, well, the best teams in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers.
Well, hold on, Hutton. Not just those teams, but how about the Detroit Lions is one of the best teams in the NFL? Other shows may not mention that or talk about it. We will.
We are on board with Detroit. Subscribe to the podcast. Join us each day for Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow across the Outkick Network. We discuss the NFL, college football, and the top headlines from Outkick.com.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of TMossBoss. Where's my phone at? I just seen my phone. I know I didn't see it. Okay, here it is. Right behind me the whole time. But anyways, welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I'm probably going to do like a video version of this too. And it's something that I will have to agree on overall what Chris Tucker was saying. But for those that don't know, Chris Tucker is an actor. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. You most likely have seen some of his greatest movies. I know I just recently shared a clip of one of my favorite scenes from him, and it's probably one of the most serious roles that he's ever done. It's still Chris Tucker, but that had to probably be one of the most serious roles that he's ever done in his whole career. But Dead Presidents, without doubt, if y'all have not seen that movie, I would recommend watching it because it is very good. Crazy at times, but it is a pretty good movie. So, Chris Tucker, I would have to say he's most known for his movie, Friday. Friday is probably on a top 5 chart. Friday would probably be number 1. I know probably some people would disagree and say maybe there's some other movies of theirs that is, their favorite. But Chris Tucker's best performance would have to be Friday. Now, he killed it in Rush Hour. He killed it in Dead Presidents. What other movies has he played in? I know he did this one movie with Samuel Jackson called Jackie Brown. But it was a kind of a cameo appearance. It wasn't, really a big thing for him. But it was, it was more so. It was even more so focused on him rather than Rush Hour and Friday. I know that he did this other movie that was pretty funny called Money Talks. Chris Tucker has done some bangers. He's always done good movies. So that's why Chris Tucker, in my opinion, he's one of those actors where I'm I don't really care. Even The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element was definitely a different movie for him, but it was a character that fit him. So that's why I'm Chris Tucker, y'all can say any disrespectful stuff that you want to say about him. In my opinion, Chris Tucker is one of the greatest actors of all time. All right, or at least, and I think if people are okay, well, maybe not one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time. Because I'm it doesn't matter what movie he does, it's going to be funny. Okay, because it's Chris Tucker. That's that type of sense of humor you just can't build up in another person. His sense of humor is specifically for him. Now I know there's the one guy that's blowing up named DC Young Fly. And he will probably be the next Chris Tucker. But like I said, he ain't going to be the new Chris Tucker. He'll be the next one. So anyways, the reason why I say that, because I know everybody would be trying to, it's okay to have them in the same conversation, but I feel you would have to respect Chris Tucker's career and stuff. I'm not overall saying that DC Young Fly has his own career. If I have anything to say, he has his own career. DC Young Fly, he's doing his thing. Don't get me wrong on that. But Chris Tucker, he's a legend, okay? So, anyways, so overall, getting into what I wanted to talk about and things. I'm trying to drag this on for it to be 15 minutes. But what I overall wanted to talk on was Chris Tucker saying that he's not going to do another Friday. Now, I know that might be a disappointment to some people, but you have to see it from his point of view. And the one guy, Shannon Sharp, I think that's his name. It was a part of his podcast, and he was interviewing Chris Tucker, and then that was a conversation that was brought up in the conversation. Will he do another Friday? And Chris Tucker, he gave a very good answer. I really did like his answer, but he was saying that was 20-year-old Chris Tucker. 40-year-old Chris Tucker, he's older. He's like, not, I don't think he mature was his words, but like he was like hinting around that, like he's different. He ain't the same person that he used to be back then. And that was one thing that I do remember reading about Chris Tucker, is that he became a born-again Christian and he wasn't doing a whole lot of cussing in his movies. Friday will probably be one of his, like, it was that movie, because I think both Friday and Dead Presidents, they both came out, I think, the same year. I think they both came out in 95. And then, all right, 1995, Dead Presidents, 95. So, yeah, both those movies came out. Those would probably be two of his most, like, controversial movies ever. More so if we're talking on, like, a language barrier. Yeah, both of those movies. Plus with Dead Presidents. So, to overall explain that movie for those, like, if you don't want to, like, sit down and watch a whole, like, how long was that movie? Like, close to 2 hours, maybe, or might have been. I don't know. But anyways, if you don't feel like sitting down watching the whole movie just to overall understand, like, what his character is going through. So, Chris Tucker, his character ends up, I believe, getting HIV/AIDS. And him and his friends, or like, it was like his friends, but it was like guys that he was in with the military with. But it's supposed to take place like back during, I think, the Vietnam War, I think. And it might have been another war, I don't know, but I think it was supposed to be the Vietnam War. But anyways, but yeah, at some point in time, Chris Tucker, his character contracts HIV/AIDS. And so it's like, it's like pretty serious for him. Plus he's on drugs. So that's probably like one of his like darkest roles. If not, that probably is his darkest role of all time throughout his like whole acting career. So then him and his friends, they decide that they were going to rob an armored truck. They do. But there's a friend of theirs that ends up snitching on them. So they all start panicking. Chris Tucker gets even heavily more on drugs. And he ends up ODing and dying. His character ends up ODing and dying. So yeah, if you saw like, dang, he went from that, because that came out before Rush Hour. So you're like, dang, he went from doing that to Rush Hour. And people, I know there was one comment, somebody was like underneath that video of him being interviewed. They was like, oh, he'll turn around and do 15 Rush Hours, but he won't do another Friday. Because you guys think about it. Friday or Rush Hours was a much more positive role for him, compared to Friday and Dead Presidents. I mean, Dead Presidents wasn't the topic of discussion, but I'm just saying, like, during that time, I guess I can understand, like, why you would be more open to do those roles, because you're just getting into acting. Now he has like some fame to his name, and he wants to do bigger and better things, and there's no problem with that. And I think everybody's expecting him, like, and that's another thing that he was like more so talking on too, where it's like, it's not gonna be the same. Like, he's overall different, like he can't be 40 years old acting like a 20-year-old Chris Tucker. Like that just, to me, that's like a wrestler. Like, that's like Hulk Hogan trying to do some Jeff Hardy stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna do that. That's far after his time. So it's like, you guys have to understand, like, he isn't the same that who he used to be. And plus, it's like his career has elevated. Like, that was like early on in his career. His career is elevated. Now, that movie can make the most amount of money. That movie can do whatever it wants to do and things. But I feel like that Friday needs to be pushed off into it either just needs to be left alone. Like, because what? You think about it. They came out with a animated Friday TV show. I think they might have did some other like Friday projects, but they didn't do as good. Friday, next Friday, and Friday after next will probably be the only Friday movies, or only like Friday like related things from the franchise that people will focus on. But other than that, like anything else outside of it, that's why it would have to be like Next Generation Friday, or Friday the Next Generation, or some stuff like that, where it's like a whole new cast of like, and I know that a lot of people was all like saying that they should do that. The one character that I was mentioning, because I was like, yo, he would be perfect for like a new age Friday, but DC Young Fly, because he's pretty much like around the same age as Chris Tucker. How old is DC Young Fly? DC Young Fly, I think he's in his late 20s, I believe. DC Young Fly, he is 28 years old. So DC Young Fly. I don't know how old Chris Tucker was when he did Friday, but it's like DC Young Fly is young enough to do that movie. It's like he can do that. So it's like that movie, another Friday would be right up his alley, you know? And I think if they were to have somebody replace Ice Cube's character, it would have to be his son. It will honestly have to be his son. I don't really see anybody else because I'm like, those would be the two fits like for the movie. Now, and then plus there's a lot of cast members from Friday that's like, you know, no, like what? Actually, there is quite a like. I mean, maybe not a whole lot, but there are a few like key cast members from the original Friday that's no longer here with us. Bernie Mac had passed away. The father of Red. Because there's like I know like his father might have like a quick like cameo appearance, but him, Tiny Lister. I think there's somebody else. So wait, it was Bernie Mac, Red's father, Tiny Lister. Oh, and Pops, John Witherspoon. So those were like key members to the movie. So it's like you guys have to find people to replace them, and that's the thing. It's like you can't replace them. That's like kind of like with Fast and Furious. You can't get somebody to replace Paul Walker. Paul Walker made his legacy. He made his territory in that movie. And there's not one person in this world that can replace him. Even if that role, like, and then to overall, I know, like, people will be like, bro, you're no Paul Walker. I know I'm not no Paul Walker. But I'm just saying, even if that role was to be given to me, I would be like, yo, can I have, like, another role? Like, I don't want to be Paul Walker, just more so out of respect for him. And I think that that's what a lot of people would have to understand about the Friday movie. It's like without those cast members, you have to find somebody funnier like that person, or you would have to get that person. But it's like those people are no longer here with us. So that's my question. It's like, why try to finish something that was like it ended already? You know, like my thing was like, you guys should have been doing this stuff like consecutively or something, you know, like kept doing it over and over rather than like you waited all the way. Like what, last Friday movie came out I think in 2003, so you guys waited almost 20 years for this movie to start, like, oh, let's, you know, put it in the works, let's get. And I think that's why this movie has been pushed off for so long, is because they're trying to get Chris Tucker on the movie. But it's like, you have to understand, like, this man is much more older now, you know, he wants to, and that's why I'm like, with Rush Hour, it's like, it's a more positive role for him, you know, he's portraying as a cop. In Dead Presidents and Friday, like, both of those movies, now imagine, like, he had to get, like, varying character for those movies. So you have to sit down and think about it. He's in the mindset of somebody that's addicted to drugs, okay, that's being wild for no reason, you know. Then it's like having a bad influence on people. I know people are probably about like, how did Smokey have a bad influence on people? I think I would, you know, people that don't want their kids to overall smoke weed and do drugs and stuff. I feel like that movie will probably just, you know, I think there'd be some people in this world that wouldn't want their kids to overall watch that movie. So Friday, it can be, you know, a little aggressive. It can be a little aggressive. But Dead Presidents, that was definitely one of the most darkest, like, black culture movies I had to say that I've ever seen. You know, because that whole movie was crazy. Like, if y'all watch Dead Presidents, mark my words, you guys will watch that movie and be like, dang, like, I want to go up to a black person and give them a hug, because I'm like, y'all done been through some stuff. So, but other than that, I'm like, yeah, it's like, you guys got to think about it. It's like, during that time, he had to put himself in a state of mind that it's like most people probably wouldn't want it to be a part of. So it's like, you guys sit down and think about that. You know, he's in that state of mind. Why would he want to go back to that state of mind? And I think and people are like, what was the one comment? I'm going to read some of the comments from that video, because I was like, bro, me personally, I'm like, I don't think it's a reason to trip. Where was it? Okay, here we go. There's all like, somebody was like with it, there's the one comment, somebody was like, but he'll do 15 Rush Hours. I'm like, yeah, because it's a much more positive role. He's portraying as a cop in there. I know people don't like cops, but I'm saying, like, he killed it in all 3 Rush Hours. So then there's like, he should play as DC Young Fly's Pops. That actually would be a good idea. Then there's then one person said, so happy. So many remakes have gone wrong. Friday is a classic. Leave it how it is. Which is true. Every time when you see somebody do a remake of whatever movie, because look at the one movie, Tales from the Hood. That's like another like black culture historic movie. And when they came out with, I think, Tales from the Hood, I think they came out with both a 2 and a 3. It was nothing like 1. 1 left like an impact in your life. 2 and 3, it's just more so be like, really? Huh, all right, because my mom, she said she was the one that said she watched, I think it was Tales from the Hood too, and she said it wasn't good. So that's why I'm like, yeah, there's at times where you only just need to make one movie. Now, they were successful with Next Friday and Friday After Next because they had Mike Epps in there. Mike Epps is a good comedian too. So that's why it's like, it was good with him. But after that, it's like, if Mike Epps doesn't want to do it and Chris Tucker don't want to do it, I don't know where Mike Epps currently stands with doing another Friday movie. He would most likely kill it, but it's like, really, like what like these guys are getting kind of up there in age, like they can't be still carrying on like how they were when they were 20 something. So it's like, I think people need to remember that and understand that. But then somebody, I think this was the comment that was like, I kind of like, I'm not Chris Tucker, but I think if I were to see something like that, I would potentially get offended. But somebody was like, isn't acting, it's acting. I think they were trying to say it's acting, but they put IST. I'm like, it's called English, bro. But anyways, what does his personal growth has to do with him playing a role? And that's overall what I was saying. I'm like, I think if people pay attention to it, and Friday, he was addicted to weed, okay? We just gonna flat out just say that right now. I know people about like, oh, weed's the weed. If you're a person that doesn't smoke weed and you gotta get into the mindset of a person that does, you don't think that would be stressful? That's like you got to get into the mindset of a serial killer. You don't want to be in that mindset. That's like getting into the mindset of a bank robber. You don't want to get in that mindset. You gotta get into the mindset of a crazy person. You don't want to get into that mindset. You don't want to be too far deep. So on top of him doing Friday, and then that same year he did the movie Dead Presidents. In Dead Presidents, his character is addicted to drugs. His character had HIV/AIDS. Like, his characters was going through some stuff. So it's like, to have that character, you mean to tell me like, okay, then when you do other movies that's a little bit more positive, you don't think that that's going to grow onto you or something, or that's going to grow your character? I'm saying to everybody out there that smokes weed, fine, do what you want to do and stuff. But to people that like, he doesn't, I don't know that he does, but he just comes off as a person like he could just got one of those like natural like comedy things about him or something. So that's why I'm like, yeah, everybody that's like tripping off of him doing another Friday movie, it's like, look, it's up to this man whether he wants to do another Friday movie. If he doesn't want to do it, y'all should just respect that. But I think that that's people that's like, you're wanting something from this man that it's like he just doesn't want to do it. Then you're getting mad and you're saying all these different things about his career and who he is as a person. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, he's still not going to do the movie. So like, honestly, it doesn't matter. You sit down and think about it. It doesn't matter what anybody says in the comments. Like, this man, if he decides to do it, he'll do it. But if not, we got to respect it. And we just got to leave it alone. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk on that real quick. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully y'all learned something from this. If not, then you guys just won't understand unless you're an actor or somebody that in his shoes or something. Put yourself in his shoes and then see. But it's like, I know people are like, oh, well, I would just do the movie anyways for the fans. I'm like, well, then you're not putting yourself in his shoes. You're still in your mindset. My thing is, it's like, when I say that to people, I'm like, put yourself in like my shoes, and they still want to be in their mindset. You're not putting yourself in the other person's shoes. You're trying to put you in their situation. So it's like, you being in that situation, of course you're going to say what you want to say. Of course you're going to say what you would do. But as that person in Chris Tucker's mind, with your career laid out and everything that you did, do you honestly think you would still have the same mindset that you have like currently right now, you being whoever you want to be? Do you think you would still have the same mindset as Chris Tucker? The only way for you to be another person and to have the same mindset as Chris Tucker is if you guys have been in the same situation. So other than that, you cannot say that, oh, this is what I would do, this is what, because you're not in that mindset. Nobody is in that mindset. So that's why I'm like, you can't say like, oh, I would do this. And it's like, you're not in his mindset. So Anyways, until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching in or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Season 1 through 9 of my podcast is on the official YouTube channel. Currently, I'm working on putting season 10. I'm going to try to get all the seasons posted onto the YouTube channel, so I'm a little bit more caught up to date and all of that, and, can post these episodes on a regular basis. But anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.